You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's R&B Divas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's R&B Divas After Show.
Go get the sing on, girl. Get the sing on. Get the sing on.
And Bing is for doing, and we are doing another episode of R&B Divas Season 2, Episode 6. I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce to you my lovely co-host.
I am Megan Thomas, also known as Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Instagram.
It's a new word now. We got an Instagram. And I'm your host, Larice Shamar.
And I'm your host, Alfred Nolan Thomas II. All eyes on black.
Okay, so Episode 6, what do you guys think overall thoughts really quick before we dive into some of the good topics?
I think Nikki's a hater.
Bring back the drama.
Drama. I know, right?
See, this is why.
It's like almost like love sister, but then it's like, I hate you all.
Yeah.
It's like a love-hate relationship throughout the whole.
Kumbaya, and
then it's like.
I don't feel it's a love-hate relationship. There is no love.
No, I just think it's just like some people love each other and some people just can't stand each other. So I think that's the big challenge that they having right now, where it's that, hey, me and Black are friends, but we hate Meg Scoop.
What? What you mean?
It's always have an itch.
It's always.
I think it's just a consistent itch that they have to scratch.
But it's only like one itch. It's only one itch. I feel like it's just one itch, and that's it.
I mean, but what's Nikki says that about the elephants, doesn't she? She's like, there's an elephant in the room. The elephant gave birth to other elephants, and then there's more elephants. So yeah, that's what it is. It's one itch has now grown into a gangrene type of rash. Or
she still think it's just one person.
Yeah, well, we're going to dive into that later, but let's get into the first topic, which some may be surprised, but Faith announced that the traveling is really taking a toll on her from going to LA to Atlanta, and she really needs to tend to her kids, who she has 2 sons who are teenagers.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So are you guys surprised?
Kind of sad. It took me by a shocker, just because of the fact she plays such a prominent role in like the whole Divas, as keeping them together and being like the mother figure and being the person to lead everybody to success. So it was kind of a shocker, but at the same time, I understand where she's coming from because again, families first.
Go ahead.
I mean, I was going to say that I think they kind of knew it was coming because she brought Angie into the fold. So, of course, trying to prep Angie to take the mother role of the group. But, of course, I don't think that they thought she was going to stay away, like, permanently. I think they felt like, okay, she'll leave a little bit and then come back. And then I think it kind of came to a surprise for them that she actually is not going to come back.
Yeah, but I think it's like the wisest decision she can make. I mean, with the way the show is going, with how crazy the women are acting, with her responsibilities at home and just being a mother, I mean, all the women can relate being in the same position. So it's just hard not to be okay with that. Although there's only, a couple more episodes. I think she could have probably toughed it out, but I mean, I understand.
I'm not surprised.
He's like, with all the drama.
I'm not surprised because it was reported earlier, before the taping had started, they reported on the blogs that both Faith and Nikki weren't coming back. And then when we hear that not only is Faith and Nikki coming back, and then there's 2 other girls, I was like, so I'm wondering, okay, so is she going to kind of just get in for a second so that she could throw her name, so that her name could be used, that, Faith Evans is going to be a part of season 2, and then she just kind of crawls out the back door once everyone's familiar with the show and they've watched a couple episodes. So I'm not surprised, just because the blogs said that that her and Nikki wasn't coming back.
I'm glad Nikki's not coming back.
No, but Nikki said she was, though. Nikki, I mean, there's an interview that came out, and she was like, "No, I didn't get kicked off. I'm still on the show."
Again?
No, I think that Faith is going to end up doing R&B Divas LA. She'll probably make some appearances on there.
Yeah,
I think that would make sense, right? I hope she does.
I think it'd be a real good thing. She's actually make appearance on R&B Divas LA.
Yeah. What was funny to me is when they had the goodbye dinner, and Monifa was like, "Oh, you know," because Faith got a little teary-eyed, and Monifa was like, "Oh, you have a post," because Faith is she holds it together.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see her just boo-hooing and she's not very dramatic. She's real chill. She's really laid back. So I thought that was kind of funny that Monifa said that.
And I was offensive for a second there.
Yeah, she was like, "What?"
What?
But then when they got into when they were talking, you know, Angie, of course, then said that she would, you know, fill that void, and she'll play the mother part.
I think she's been wanting that since she got on the show. To be that mother figure, and it just made it more of now I can put my reign down and let these girls know that, you know, this is how I want y'all to see me.
Yeah, I think in episodes that we have seen Angie, you know, she kind of take on that role and try to be that leader, and everybody looks up to Angie because she have so much like success in the industry right now. As she says, she's versatile.
Versatile.
You know, so
First
it's like
class up in this.
first class. So, you know, so I think that's like one of the things that is going to be real important to the future episodes, is that the Divas actually looking up to Angie, and she's playing a real important part to like keeping everyone together, as if Faith would, if Faith was there.
When they were kind of wrapping up the dinner, Faith was like, you know, let's just sing a little something, and so they were singing.
Yeah.
They were singing "Soon as I Get Home."
Soon
Okay.
as I get.
Now, I must say that rendition that you did was a lot better when they first started off, because did you guys catch did you catch the off note? And I think it was Selena, 'cause it's only two real low altos in that whole group, and it's Selena and Angie Sone, and I think it was Selena. It was the ass part. It was just like,
It's kind of like took me. I was just like, but y'all sing so well.
But I mean, that wasn't practice, though.
'cause you gotta practice to make perfect.
And then they, as soon as, I mean, they got really good ears. They can hear the pitch, and they adjusted accordingly,
And they was like,
it was beautiful. They adjusted.
but once they got the harmonies together, and who was gonna do away? It was what, 7 of them. So you know. You were 2 altos, 2 sopranos, you know, whatever. But they had it together finally.
They did.
That ass note, we actually rewound it a couple times. We were like, wait a minute, who's that? Trying to figure out who did that.
Was it you, Selena?
Did you not warm your vocals?
Yeah.
But they were eating. Maybe it was some ribs. Or something.
I mean, nobody's 100%.
He said some
They're
ribs.
fine, you guys. It was fine. It was just one note. After that, it was fine.
He said ribs.
Why they gotta be eating ribs, Alfred?
It just might have been there. I was just
What they got to do with your vocals?
It stick to your chest.
You know.
Hit the note.
But what's interesting with all this music and talk of singing, iTunes.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for loving and watching the show. And we want you to continue to go to iTunes, support us, comment, read, show it to your friends, share. Thank you.
All right. And so now let's get into Angie Stone. Good old Angie. So, so Angie, in her confessional, she was saying that what I thought was interesting is in one of the parts of the confessional, she said that, you know, Faith asked her to play that role. And I was like, I rewound it.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't, maybe off camera, but Angie kind of took that role and kind of ran with it. What do you guys?
No, because remember when the first episode that Angie was on, she said that Faith brought her to this group. And I think that's the reason why, because Faith knew she was leaving, so she needed somebody to basically be the peacemaker and the unbiased woman in the group. So she didn't just come up in here for no reason. I think Faith had a conversation with her off camera.
Okay.
Whatever, Bamm.
I mean, that's a great point. That was mentioned in I think the second episode. It does make sense. For me, does it feel, I don't know, is it just me, but does it feel like Angie, I feel she's trying a little too hard.
I will agree with that.
I think she's trying way too hard.
I think she is.
I think she's between trying to be the mother figure and then find a real place within the group. I think that's what kind of gets in the way, because she's trying to come at it in a motherly way instead of becoming a part of the group and then her tenure and her wisdom should naturally just ooze into the situation.
Yeah.
But she got so many games. She got so many things she wants the women to do and exercises and section people off. I think that looks suspicious from afar. And even when you come, I think it just makes it harder for her.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that Angie feels like she has a point to prove, to where she feels like, hey, I'm the team leader and everybody, y'all just kind of working up under me. And whatever I say kind of go type figure.
But for me, maybe it's her approach, because it's almost like when you see some of the football movies and you have this coach that comes in where it's like the team is horrible and he comes in with all these standards and the kids don't quite relate to them yet because they haven't got the opportunity to know them, or maybe it's the way that the coach is going about it.
It's an approach.
And I feel that with Angie's approach, I feel it's a little.
It's not a welcoming approach.
Yeah.
But I think she didn't take advantage of the situation of being able to see how Faith got along with the group, because Faith was that image, that character, that perfect coach without necessarily having to try. And Angie just sort of comes in without even asking, how are you being this mediator between the girls? Whereas I think she just has this kind of preconception of how to handle things.
I don't think a leader has to say, I'm the leader. I don't think the mom has to say, I'm the mom of the group.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a natural flow, you know, and I think she could have effectively been in this same exact role without ever mentioning the fact that, oh, well, I'm going to be the peacemaker, but I'm the mama of the group. You know what I'm saying? Like, this should just be obvious. So I think that's what makes it a little uncomfortable for me.
And also, I think Faith knew majority of the girls coming in. She knew Nikki. They had a relationship. They've been knowing each other since the 90s. She knew Monifa. She knew all the girls already. She had relationships with them. So I think the girls obviously felt comfortable enough to want to be a part of the show, knowing that Faith was going to be driving the bus.
I think the biggest thing is that all the girls on the show, that their level of respect for Faith is they have a higher level of respect for Faith than they do Angie. You know, and I just say that again, like you said, maybe it's a relationship that they had in the past with working with Faith and knowing her in the industry, and Angie Stone just kind of coming in, just like, hey, you know, Faith brought me in, and I'm basically going to play like the mother figure and be the peacemaker, as you may say, and she never worked with any of these girls ever before.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just agreeing with that.
And so let's kind of just break down, because Angie was kind of the epicenter. Besides Faith leaving, Angie was the epicenter of this episode. I mean, she literally went and had a little one-on-one conversation with everybody. And
because they were all buddies. Like Adventures of Serial Buddies. Adventures of Serial Buddies is an awesome movie that we need you, all you AfterBuzz TV lovers, to go download. It's produced by Maria Menounos and our wonderful Kevin Undergaro, who are the founders of AfterBuzz TV. Now, supporting Adventures of Serial Buddies means you are supporting us here at AfterBuzz TV. So what we need you to do is go to the website, serialbuddies.com. You can also go to iTunes and search for Adventures of Serial Buddies and download the movie. It's hilarious.
Funny.
Funny. There's people like Artie Lang, Kathy Lee Gifford, Maria Menounos, Beth Bears,
and Henry Winkler.
Christopher Lloyd. I mean, everybody you can think of, your mama, all of them, they're in this movie. So make sure you go.
I'm pretty sure they all would laugh about the movie too. Your mama, your brother, your sister, everybody. It's a funny movie.
It is. It's funny. It's so make sure you go download the movie, because it's helping us here at AfterBuzz TV, and it allows us to give you this free programming without any type of interruptions, any type of ads. We need your help. So make sure you go to serialbuddies.com and get Adventures of Serial Buddies.
And Angie Stone apparently needs everyone help, which is why she went and discussed their private moments with everyone. So let's go into Latasha. So she went to Latasha, and she went to her and saying that, you know, she's been a part of a group, and so that they can, so Angie, Latasha says that she can relate, and then Angie says that she's never had a sister. She's never had a blood sister. She's the only girl. And so she kind of told Latasha that you are like my
You're my sister.
You're like my
I'm gonna adopt
sister.
you as my sister if you'll have me. That was nice.
I thought she was gonna tell every girl that though. Like, I thought she was gonna tell everybody that. You like, you like my blood sister, like every Nikki, Selena, like everybody. Like she was the approach, the way she kind of talked to Latasha. I was just like, she's gonna tell everybody.
It was
that.
nice. I did. I felt that
was a nice bike she had though.
Oh my gosh, both of those bikes.
Yeah.
I do want that bike. I will say that.
I was like, man.
Did you not like that?
I just there's
You said MTV Cribs.
I'm sure.
Check out my whip. Mama still got it, baby.
I mean,
Right.
I thought the bike was interesting because it had her name on it. Did it have her picture
It had
too?
her
It had two
picture on
pictures.
it.
It had like at least two
Like,
pictures.
seriously,
It might
she
have
was
had
like-
three pictures on it.
I was like, never ever seen in my life
What?
before.
I think that's awesome
It's
because
cute,
she's in her
right?
50s and she's living life. And I think even Latasha says that. She's like, she's showing me how to live in the moment. She's not letting any grass grow under her feet. She is out there doing it. She's
Because
on
they're
these
sisters.
motorcycles, honey.
Because they're
That's
sisters.
good.
The motorcycle is cute, but the name in the picture, it just seems a little.
She's
Yeah.
first class.
There
you don't
you
know
go.
what first class
Don't be
is?
mad because you don't have your
There
face on
you
your
go.
bike.
I
what I'm
would
saying?
never have my face on my bike.
Like,
Don't
bam.
Yo, that bad boy.
It just seems a little heavy with the branding.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
Sometimes I think less is more.
She loves
Okay, but
herself.
that's her personal bike. So that's her bike. If she wants to put
herself.
if she wants to put 50 pictures of her, if she want to put a bunch of stickers on there, she want to paint it herself,
That's
whatever.
tacky.
That's her bike.
That's tacky.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
That's
just
her
saying.
bike.
You say stickers.
Who cares? The point is, that's her bike.
It's
If she
tacky.
want to put her face on there, boom,
Spinners on the
her
bike.
little glamour shot, whatever.
Okay,
She
I
can do
want to see
that.
you put your face on your car.
Well, that's not what I want to do. Okay.
Be like, Meg Scoop.
I do want candy paint on it though.
Oh.
I'm just playing. But the point is, that's her style.
It was like,
You're right. You're right. It is her
Bad
style.
choice.
And then my.
So judgmental,
and
man.
I'm not judgmental, but I'm recapping the show,
Man,
and I
like,
just.
this is not nice.
I don't think. It's just too much, but in my famous words, you know, if she likes it, I love it. So what? Who cares? So that's just, you know,
Like,
she
shout
likes
out
it.
to Angie. Nice bike.
So what? Who cares?
Yeah, so what? Who cares? So then she goes to Monifa. Well, as she was on one of the bikes, and so they had a nice little conversation as well. What'd you guys think about that one?
I think that her manager, the whole timing of him coming in, like, oh, I just got off the phone and, you know, we got like the green light. Just like Liz, she stopped talking to Monifa, was just like, oh, yeah, you know, like I got the green light for my show and I thought that was kind of rude because they're supposed
mean?
because they're supposed to be having a moment to kind of discuss like their
think that was a
personal
setup, though.
relationship. I know it was a setup. But still,
Y'all are killing me with this.
I'm just saying, I felt like that would be rude. That's
No,
rude.
but I'm saying though, if this was real life and you're sitting there having a conversation with your homeboy and your manager who's in your house working comes up to you and is like, hold on, wait a minute, I gotta say something real quick. We got the green light. Obviously, what you gonna tell you're gonna tell your manager, stop talking to me. I don't care.
But
I'm
at the
talking
same
to my
time, he's
friend."
like, I'm having a meeting, you know, with one of the girls, and we basically got some things to discuss.
But it was more
important.
like we just chilling. I think that's why her manager. I mean, it was at her house. They were eating little snacks. Like it wasn't really like it was.
But I think
it was formal.
The whole thing was a setup to bring that to Monifa.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all the rest of the girls.
And all the rest of the girls.
So it was like, when we see us sitting down, come around the corner, talk about the thing, and I'm going to do this. And then we're going to get it to go.
No, I think that's actually a
But I think
producer thing.
everybody
I think
does
the
that.
producers probably did that and said, oh, well, since you got the good news, just have your manager come in here and say it while Monifa's here so we can catch it on camera.
But Angie's like that, too.
I can.
All the situations.
I can see both sides. I can see where it comes off a little unprofessional because when my boss or my former boss, when he's having conversations or meeting with people and there's news, I would wait till that person is done before I would go tell my boss. That's the way I am. Or if he's in a meeting or something and like say Faith Evans calls or something, I would say, like it's just professional to, as an assistant, to not just come up abruptly and just say, hey, you just got this.
But that's not her assistant. That's her manager.
No. His name was Ashanti and that was her assistant.
It said manager under his name.
I thought it said assistant.
It said manager, because when I looked, because I was like, who is this dude? It says manager.
Okay, well, if it's a manager, maybe that's different, but as an I thought it said assistant, so
I just think it was just a good setup for, like, later on in the show, what happens in the show. I mean, so I think that's all it really was. So we can kind of...
And then we also found information in regards to Monifa, because Monifa says she's been acting and doing plays in Broadway, and she's done commercials since she was 8. So she's obviously ready for the opportunity if Angie's willing to allow. So I think for the most part, I think it was great news. And so then she invited her to the table reading. Now let's really quick before we go into that, let's go into Keke Wyatt. Alfred, I know.
Wholly new light of Keke. At first, she was crazy, and I thought she was somebody you couldn't handle. But the way she has looked at this situation with these women and decided to step outside and, you know, do the better things for her career, I was like, oh, wow.
I think she really she handled Angie like real good.
Yeah.
You know, I think like in a professional man, letting her know like this is how I feel and this is what I'm going to do, because she was like she don't want to go on tour. Yeah. And you have to respect her, you know, with Michael sitting on her side.
That was really great. That was the first time you see them making a decision together. You be like, unity.
Right, and there was no craziness. There was no crazy Keke.
No, it's like she was serious this time.
She said hers, but they ain't messing with that. Like, she crazy, but I ain't that crazy.
But she was more serious this time than she was in the meeting in New York.
Right.
And like the meeting in New York, who's basically gonna brand her and help her career, but she was just like burping in there. But with Angie, she was just like, hey, this
ain't that crazy?
Yeah,
right.
It's very crazy. But I think because they had such that nasty altercation when she told her she was old and didn't want to tour, I think that she was trying to come in to be, I think she was trying to be on her best behavior and not really go at her and just be more calm with it. I think because of their past. And so I think it was a good idea. And Keke did bring up a good point. She says, I don't want to be involved in that drama. Monifa has already expressed how she hates being in the middle of it. And Keke has an advantage because Keke does have a hit single out with Avant right now. And even when they were at the Trumpet Awards and they performed, Keke was already there. She was already invited because she sung the duet with Avant. So she's like there in that whole urban adult contemporary category right now. So she's having hits on the radio. She's having spins. She'll probably be performing at the Essence Musical Festival this summer. So she kind of has a career of her own. And for some of the other women, I think the tour is something that's needed to help kind of boost them to continue to maybe get that solo deal.
I think the most important thing that her and Michael said is like, hey, draw out the papers and we will review the papers, and then we'll kind of make a decision from there. If it feel like it's beneficial to us, even with the money, we will do it. But again,
if not, we'll walk.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I thought it was well put.
Yeah.
Which is true. I feel like everybody should say that. If the money is funny, honey, got to get out.
And then Nikki.
Oh,
Nikki and Angie's conversation.
Everybody
sighed like, oh, Nikki. I don't know. I'll just say this. This episode, I feel like every episode I dislike Nikki's character more and more. And I want to say character. I know this is reality TV. This is their real life. They're playing themselves. But I would like to say character because I don't want to say that I don't like her.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say I don't like her character.
I think the choices she makes are the decisions and reasons. It's not justified enough for you to accept how she's like kind of destroying and sabotaging everything. And it's her show. So it's like, with you being a producer element, you think you would want to be more of a positive factor rather than, unless that issue with her and Selena is so turned up that there's a lot of stuff that we don't know that is non-pertaining to the show. So it makes you look at her like, I don't see why you're acting this way or why you so, like even after the moment where they're on stage and they finally came up for her aid, you know, you would think that would be a humbling experience to where you can set things aside, but it's like it has to be something way deeper than what's going on.
She made that comment in the beginning, basically like, I can't believe Selena came up there. I'm like, it's just your friend.
And I thought they would have said more about that. I thought she would have at least been like, oh, you know, it was really nice of her to come and help comfort me. And the fact that there was no mention of that, it concerns me.
What's also interesting is I feel when Angie's around, Nikki, except for the last part, which we'll get into in a minute, but Nikki seems to be on her best behavior when Angie's around. She's very nice, and you know, when they were doing the table reads, you know, she walked over and she kind of had her chin on Angie, like she kind of is on her best behavior.
I think she respects her because you know who she is as a person and what she has done in the industry, and I think additionally her role stepping into Faith's role right now to make sure the Divas stay together. So I think it's just the respect that she has for Angie. But overall, as a person, like I'm agree with Megan. Like I just like her character on the show because all it shows like she's like nitpicking. You know.
I will agree with you that I feel like it is more of a character because. You know, Larice and I, we met Nikki last year at the at Kelly Price's Grammy party, and she seemed to be really nice. I met her 2 weeks ago when she opened up with Brownstone, and so it feels like it's two different people at times.
I just think she just don't like Selena.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a bigger issue with Selena.
It's so petty and sad because first of all, not only like how are you not going to sign the release for Selena's DVD?
Okay, let's back up before we get into that. Let's go into the table read for Nana Knows Best. And so what happened was Angie Stone has this show that has been picked up. It's called Nana Knows Best, and she is a grandmother, and her boyfriend is the comedian
Rodney Perry.
Rodney Perry, and that's her boyfriend. And so I guess she's taking care of this little girl. So it's Nana Knows Best. And the producer of the show, did you guys know who that was? That was Lavita Alice A. Jenkins, TVOne from the Steve Harvey Show.
She runs the Green Room in Atlanta. Shout out to the Green Room.
And so we kind of got a feel for the show. What did you guys think of the table read?
I mean, like I really don't have an opinion about it because it was just so short because they didn't really kind of read the whole entire like script. But I just think that, you know, it could be possibly a great thing for Angie. You know, and it could be possibly a great thing for the Divas too because, you know, those who do have acting skills, they might have a potentially to also either sing on the show or also act on the show. As Selena was just like, hey, like
I'm trying to get put on.
Exactly.
Basically.
So you know,
come on,
it's just, and, you know, like Angie said, she was like, I'm doing it, you know, as a platform to help the other divas out. So I think it's a great thing.
I think it's a great thing too because, you know, as I said, there is that side of Angie where I'm still kind of don't know. I'm kind of unsure her angle, but I think it's a great thing. She has a show that's picked up. She has blatantly told, you know, TVOne as a producer, I want these girls on, whether if it's a cameo or maybe we can, you know, have a supporting. And all of these girls are obviously willing because Monifa and Selena Johnson made it clearly, made it clear cut that they wanted to be a part of it. Nikki didn't say whether if she wanted to or not, or she didn't come off as we say, thirsty. She didn't come off as...
We didn't see that part.
We didn't see that part. So she may have, but we didn't see that part. So, you know, I think that was good.
I just think it's just a great platform for each one of them.
Yeah. And I think it's good that Angie's, you know, and I think this is part of the reason why Angie has stayed relevant in 30 plus years because she continues to do other things, whether she's songwriting, singing background, singing, you know, foreground, whatever. She's always doing something new.
Yeah.
I predict that this show is obviously going to be on TVOne.
More than likely, I doubt it will be on BET.
Yeah.
That would be kind of weird.
Yeah, this is totally a VH, not a VH1, a TV1.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So I think it works. When we were saying how it seemed a little set up, I think it works.
But it goes in the show. I think Angie's role has always been this like strategic planner, setup kind of guy. I got
girl.
But I mean, guys in the caricature, But still, it goes more so into seeing how she really wants it. I just wish it wasn't so forced, and it would come off so warm. Like I see where the heart is. I see the attempts. Sometimes they brick. You see the shot. Now and then she does a layup. You're like, you know what? Keep on the team.
Good old layup. Make me think about the Spurs.
Oh, we ain't getting into that one. Go Heat.
Go
Spurs. Go Heat.
That's all I gotta say about that.
But my last question before we get into Nikki and Selena is, I just don't understand why Angie Stone is so adamant about trying to get this tour together. Let's take for instance, last season 1. Monifa, Selena Johnson, you know, they had all tried for years. They had been submitting themselves to try to get onto the Essence Music Festival, and they were always declined. Angie Stone is somebody who easily and hands down get invited to the Essence Music Festival if she hasn't already performed there a dozen of times. She can do the things that that favor. She can have a concert in West Hollywood at the Roxy Theater. She can do all of these things, and so I just don't understand why she is trying so hard to get this.
Because, Pam.
Because, Megan, explain it to me.
Let me tell you why. Because she's at the point in her career, it's not about another #1 hit. She's had those. It's not about another. You get to a point in your career where you want to help somebody else. And she's reached that point where she's ready to bring somebody else up by the bootstraps. So now, when her career is done and she's old and gray, she can go, not only did I accomplish all this stuff for myself, but all these other people that are doing things, I've had a hand in that as well. And that's a bigger purpose than just yourself. So I think that's why she's so adamant about these women getting along, because they're not just going to help themselves by you know, working with her, but they're also going to help this industry as a whole, because these are black women, you know, and it's not good to see them fighting over stupid stuff when they could have a multi-million-dollar tour if they just stop acting like little punks.
I mean, I kind of agree with Megan too. I just think that she want to leave like her legacy. Like, I have other proteges that I have brought up to be successful. Not only these divas, but also in the younger generation. Because like she said, she always reinventing herself and her different styles of music and stuff. Cause I think it's not just gonna stop here with the divas themselves. She's gonna find other artists to bring them up to make sure that they're successful in the industry. Because you look at it, it's almost like owning your own label. You know, I have all these people, all these artists working with me to help me be more successful than what I am. So it's all about the legacy for her now. Because
yeah,
she made, like you said, she made #1 record, still making music. It's about the legacy. After I'm gone, like, what else can they say about me besides my music?
I mean, when it comes down to practical thinking, she just gets it. I think she looks into the magical ball and sees the success and has been around that block and been around those, what we're going to do next, how can we continue to keep this train running. And she sees these women who have the tools and have the platforms that, if they just had their mind right, could actually make something exist that, I mean, just as much as she's bringing them up, I know she's going to eat off that plate too. So it's like, we can help ourselves. But you look at women or these particular women in their situation and allowing it to be self-destructive and not allowing themselves to see, like, look, she has this talent, I have this talent, put these things together, do this different thing. She's even trying to switch it up with a TV show. I mean, she has great work ethic. And as for those artists in the world who are trying to have tenure, trying to have, you know, ultimate success and not being just on how many Grammys, how many plaques, and it being like body of work, body of how long you've been around and what you've been able to do with your time here, she's more of somebody who has the right ideology.
Okay, fair enough. Now let's get into the whole Nicki Selena thing. So Nicki, Nicki has she reveals to Latasha that Brownstone didn't break up. What happened was she went to her lawyer's office one day and
I was laughing like, imagine that. You go to your lawyer's office.
She goes, yeah.
So you on the right.
So she goes to the right. She goes to her lawyer's office, and she is. It's revealed to her through her lawyer that the group has left. They've all just the other two girls have left. Mind you, one girl had already left, and there was a girl who was replaced. So the last two girls, they left, and so now she's solely on the name Brownstone. And she had the option of getting new girls and continuing Brownstone or letting it go. And so obviously she let it go. And so now she's at this crossroad because during season 1 she wasn't really feeling the urgency and the passion to sing. So now she's kind of found that back. And so now she goes and she meets with Jim Wright, who's a great musician and producer. And so she goes to him and says she thinks that she wants to get the group Brownstone together, which makes sense because why? Yeah. They opened up for Faith 2 weeks ago. And so now she's doing that.
But I think like the whole Brownstone getting together now is just kind of like a stab in the back to the other divas for the tour. Because as she says, she's like, oh, I think I want to do a Brownstone tour. And it's like, you have all these other R&B divas who want to kind of do a tour with you, but because there are differences with certain artists in within the Divas, you don't want to do the tour. My curious thing is that if Brownstone broke up before and you had the sole rights, what's the reason why they broke up before? Is it you? The reason why they broke up before? You know?
Is it true?
Yeah, exactly. Because like when you kind of leave, say we have a business and we leave the business to Black because he don't understand business and he just don't listen to anybody. So he's like, instead of like continue to do business with you, I'm gonna just walk away from it. And I feel like that's what they have done to her, and that's why she owned the rights to it. So what do you think that's gonna happen again? If she can't get along with the Divas and the friends that she have now, how does she think she's gonna get along with a new group? Yeah, it was cute. They performed 2 weeks ago, but is that going to be continuous, though, because of her attitude, because of her character? So you got to kind of ask those questions, like, how long will it be successful? Yes, she will have great producers, great writers to help, like, create great music for them, but at the same time, let's start with the leader. If she's the leader, I feel she's going to run everybody away.
And
no, I was going to say that I think it might be a good idea that she does go on a Brownstone tour by herself and let the other ladies do a tour, because there's too much friction here. There's too much. It made my head hurt watching this, because I was just like, we are too old to be acting like this. So I think it would probably be better for her to go do her own thing.
To see what happens and see if she's going to be successful or see if she's going to fail.
Because I really don't think that the Brownstone tour is going to bring in as much money as this tour with these other women.
It's not.
Just saying.
So, okay, I have something to say. Brownstone's body of work, their hit singles. If you love, knock it off.
I got one.
If you love me, heard it through the grapevine and 5 Miles to Empty. I don't think Brownstone's body of work, I don't think their catalog is long enough for Brownstone to do a tour by themselves.
Right.
Because they only had 2 albums total.
Yeah.
So for a Brownstone tour, you need other people to be a part of the marquee. And so you would need other R&B acts such as like an SWV or the Monifas. You need all of those poppin' groups from the 90s to all come together, or you're going to have to open up for like Mary J. Blige.
Yes.
So it's kind of, you have to be able to, you have to tour within your elements.
It won't be it won't be the Brownstone tour. It's like, oh, I'm opening up for someone else. And again, like I said, she have great producers like Jim. He's a amazing producer, but at the same time, I think it's going to take time to revamp or rebuild Brownstone as a group overall.
I just think it's a bad idea, but it's a better idea than having her on the R&B
right, and messing it up for everybody else.
Yeah, because it's like now it really looks like there's no real future in these women getting together. And I mean, if taking out elements is the only way to bring in harmony, then sometimes you got to do that. And I mean, she's already willing to have her own thing. I say push her in that right direction.
I think Kiki will do it.
I think Kiki would do it if Nikki was off, because then there wouldn't be any drama.
And it's what's really interesting is when in episode 1, when Selena had brought the idea to them, Nikki had also thrown in there that she was trying to work on a tour through AEG. Yeah. And at first when we heard it, I kind of thought it was just kind of throwing shade. Oh, you got a tour going? Oh, I got one too with AEG, kind of just to throw something out there, just to kind of to trump her. And so clearly she was serious. All right, let's get into now the discussion that erupted between Selena, who's there? Selena, Angie, Monifa, and Nikki. And so there was this whole thing about the elephants.
Yeah.
And the conversation was going nice and peaceful. But then on Selena's part, Selena had been griping the whole entire episode about the fact that Nikki participated in her workout video. And Nikki didn't sign off. So therefore, when she did the little boot camp, she couldn't sell her DVDs because she doesn't have her permission. Consent form. Alfred,
I thought that was... one thing I thought was crazy, how many times she had situations of dealing with that issue, complained about it, saw Nikki, didn't say nothing, went back, had another issue, complained to somebody else about it. It was always these pauses. And then
went and grabbed her hand and got her off stage.
But having that as an issue at that point wasn't so bad, but now that it's coming to an extreme, like you not being able to sell your product and stuff, like why isn't hasn't the business been handled properly in the first place?
Right.
Two, if you are to the point where it's gone and you made this mistake and it's clearly a thing that you need to correct, I don't understand why it just can't be, let's just, or if she had said no, let it be final no. I thought it was good that she decided to continue to shoot the video despite that was a great producer move, edit around her, and then pretend like she was never there.
I think the biggest thing is that, you know, she just looked at, hey, this is my friend, you know, and it's probably before all the bigger drama started happening between them in this season. And she probably just felt like, hey, this is my friend, can you help me out with my workout video? Because I have done, like, favors for friends without doing consent for them because, like, I'm helping you out as a friend. Whatever profit you make off of it, that is your profit because I'm helping you out as a friend and it's not my video.
But but your friend runs the risk of you turning on them. And so this whole situation, I mean, and she did say it was her fault, but I think she needs to be a little more concerned that it is her fault. It's Selena's fault that her DVD is not done. And not because Nikki won't sign, no, because you didn't give her anything to sign the day y'all shot. Yeah. That is numero uno when it comes to film production. You don't ever let anybody walk away. Matter of fact, you don't start rolling the cameras until the signatures are down. Exactly. Because if somebody doesn't want to come and sign your paper, guess what? You're SOL, and that's exactly what she's going through. Yeah. Now, on the flip side, I feel bad. Like, Nikki should be, even if you don't like this woman, even if you hate her guts, okay, even if she kicked your puppy, whatever, you should at least be a woman of your word. You were in the video. You said you wanted to be a part of it. You came. You did it. You don't like her, fine. Just tell her to slide those papers over here. No discussion. I'll sign them. Done.
Well, I just think the bigger issue is that Nikki just kind of, like, again, she wants the conflict because she feel like, hey, if I don't sign the papers, she can't do the DVD. She can't sell the DVD.
And that's some ugly karma. Like, Nikki got some ugly stuff coming to her because you can't do that to people. Even if you don't like her, you already agreed to it. Exactly. Now your word is nothing and your integrity is gone.
But at the same time, like you said, Selena, she met with her lawyer. Her lawyer told her, like, you know, literally what you need to do is just basically reshoot the video. And what does she do? She's like, hey, you know, it's going to cost me money. Her sister said, you know what? I'll chip in with you as, like, family or friends supposed to do. They really want to see you basically progress and grow. Because the boot camp thing, it was great. They had a lot of people there. A lot of people was motivated about it. And that's what she is. She's like, I'm really trying to get in this fitness thing. And then she really wanted it done. She got it done. She reshot the video. And like she said, I got everybody to sign a waiver, you know, before we even start shooting, which is a good thing. It's a lesson learned for her.
Right.
And Selena did own up and say that this is her fault.
Yeah, she did say that.
Yeah. And so I am torn. And she obviously should have did the waivers, or she could have posted notice of filming like they do for most reality shows. Big old signs, notice of filming. There's no way you can get around it. And so I feel that Selena had been more of a friend to Nikki than Nikki had been to.
Agreed.
Yes. And you can even go back to the season finale episodes in season 1 when she purposely didn't introduce her. And so it's.
I think Nikki just really kind of like she's bitter about the situation, you know, and again, a lot of time it's just jealousy because of the personal success, you know, and Nikki kind of made a comment like, oh, well, I'm kind of upset because, you know, Salisa, she released, you know, the whole press release, but she's like, my sister did.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because I think we have a lot to say about that. So as far as that's concerned, Selena, she recognized that it was a mistake. She reshot the video, and so now she's good. But as far as her trusting Nikki, she obviously, you know, she has her
yeah, she don't care too much.
She don't care. And so now when they go into this conversation, when they were at the little sexy lounge or something,
Arm lounge.
It's actually a real nice lounge.
It is. It's
okay.
Nice,
oh, so you two been there?
ATM.
Not together, but you know we've been there.
Gotcha. Okay. So disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Not together.
Okay. But the conversation went nice and peaceful until.
Okay. I want to say this though. Why is it that it's always extra people and Nikki and Selena? They need to go by themselves.
They'll fight.
They need but I'm saying though, then let them fight. Let them punch each other in the face. Nobody else needs to stop. Let it just happen. It just needs to be them too, because I really think that this would go differently if it was just those two. Because then it's kind of like, well, there's nobody here to referee us. It's really just you and I.
And I feel like I said, I think there's something else that they ain't talking about on the show that is allowing this consistent tension. Like, I think there are easily solved problems that they're deciding, I'm just going to be a baby about it. and then come at it like I'm an adult.
Yeah.
But always be like the whole blast of the whole possibility of tour is not enough for you to weigh in that much energy and that much anger.
I think that, and I think initially they both seemed to be a little calm, but then I have to say it was Nikki who started the whole entire thing.
Yes.
Nikki first says that she just goes into blaming the sister, and Selena did the most intelligent thing. She says, "Hold on, we're not going to discuss this. My sister,
Right.
My sister's
As you
40, I'm
should.
36. She can defend herself, and you clearly don't have the right information." And so Selena tried to keep it there. Then Nikki kept driving, and Nikki's very sly, because when she comes for you, she talks in this very nice, slow tone, like she's very calm and cool. And then the moment that Selena raises her voice just a little bit, don't raise your voice to me, like, bitch, are you for real? Like it's
Just like that.
It's like she has a lot of nerve. She totally has a lot of nerve. But then after she says that her sister is not here, you know, you need to speak to her. Then Nikki keeps digging and says that she wants, she says, I need to see some remorse from you about this email blast, and she wants an apology.
But the crazy thing is that everybody has told her that, okay, well, Salisa has not sent it out. You know, it's not her fault that the press release went out, and if she feels like the press release is hurting her career, it's not hurting her career. It's just letting people know. Even if everybody's seeing it, it's letting people, oh, well, you know what? Maybe, you know, Nikki is coming out with new music. I'm gonna look for it. Or maybe Kiki is coming out with new music. I'm gonna look for it. It's not a bad thing.
And I don't think even she says to Selena that she needs an apology from Selena.
What?
Hold on, wait. If she gets an apology from Selena, do you think that all of this is gonna be blown over and they're gonna be best friends? No, she's still gonna have a problem with her.
And she's not. And if Selena would be silly enough to apologize, all she's gonna do is say, "Well, I don't believe." She's gonna find another reason not to.
But that's the whole point. I don't think she ever wanted to be positivity or get past it. It was always like, "Oh, we gonna talk about it? Well, then I'm gonna turn up on you." You can tell when you're having a conversation with somebody who's trying to fight with you. Even when you try to block stuff that they're saying, to be like, okay, we may have a disagreement on that. Let's still talk about what we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And they just like, nah. Because she found a way to continue to talk about something, one, that was already supposedly, we're not going to talk about that. Let's continue to move on. And then she was like, well, let me talk about it, but make it more at you, make you do something so I can make you mad. Say something to me so I can say something that we just turn
Again, I just feel like, you know, Nikki, she's just real kind of like bitter in the fact that maybe Selena is more successful than her, and she just kind of feel like, you know, I dislike her success. And I think it's just like the whole tour thing, just feel like you have a problem with. But I think she had a problem with Selena even before the whole tour thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of dates back, not just. But only thing she keep bringing up is like, oh well, the tour. But you look at, like, you was on the stage when you couldn't sing. Selena comes out to help you sing and support you as her friend's supposed to do. Sometimes sometimes you just have to let things go, but she don't want to let it go.
She doesn't. She's not. If you're trying to resolve something, it's very obvious because you keep trying to come to a solution. And it seems like Selena was trying to get to a solution, but Nikki was not. Nikki just wanted to be like, well, you owe me this, you owe me this. And when you're trying to fix something, you don't say that. You don't. I feel like nobody's taught these women how to disagree effectively, okay? Because it's not even about blaming the other person. She needs to first start off and be like, look, I'm not even gonna worry about you. I'm gonna tell you the things that I probably should have done differently. Because when you start with your own self, trying to fix what you've done, then you'll see that arguments go way better.
A lot of times people don't realize, like, I'm sitting pointing all these fingers at you, but I'm not realizing where I'm wrong at in the situation. And Nikki's not basically seeing where she's wrong at in the situation. All she want to talk about is the negative. But everyone else in the group or the divas, they will kind of focus on the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the tour. And Selena did the right thing. She left.
And speaking of that, what I thought. Well, Nikki lost me, I think, pretty much all episode. But what even drove it is after Selena left, she had the nerve to say that Selena is the cause for this tour to end.
But everybody looked at it like Monifa. Everybody looked at it like, are you serious?
And Monifa, and good old Monifa form, she's like, no, she didn't. And you know, she was quiet the whole entire argument. But once,
lies.
but once, but you tell a lie,
right? Right.
But I think like everybody kind of see the bigger picture why the tour is not gonna happen is because of Nicki, and I think that with Nicki kind of doing the Brownstone tour, it's gonna basically help the other divas to do the tour. And like I said, I think Kiki will come along because it won't be any drama because everybody respects each other's talent. Now is that Nicki's not there, and I think the tour's gonna happen.
And also, and then after this whole thing. After this whole this fight happened, then that's when we actually saw Nicki with Jim Wright and Daniel Moore, the vocal coach, where she said that she wanted to get Brown So together and they wanted to do this tour. Which you also have to wonder because Selena brought the idea to the girls first. Maybe Nicki's just being what we call a hater because she wanted the tour to be under her name so that she can have money and so that everything can be more about her. She could bring Brownstone in and she would get the kudos and she
But at the same time, the tour is kind of split between amongst all of them equally.
That's true, but I think Nicki has a power issue.
Yeah, I think so.
She has a power issue, and I think she wanted to bring the tour to the girls and have her in her dealings because the fact that she brought it to the girls, that's like a producer credit, so that she gets to have a little bit more money. Whether if it's $10 or $10,000, it's more money. So Nicki, girl. Okay, so any final thoughts before we go into news and gossip?
Nah. I'm kind of wore out from Nicki.
I am too. I just, I heard it through the grapevine that Nicki is too much right now. That's all.
But you're not too much. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, I have a little bit of news for you guys. So right now, Selena Johnson has a song out with Musiq Soulchild called "Feel the Fire." And it's a very cool reggae-ish type of song. Yeah. Very cool. But they're gonna do an album together, and it's called 9, and it's gonna get released next month, possibly August, if they can get a multi-city tour together, just her and Musiq. And I think that's really cool.
That's a real good thing.
Right. And then we'll see that in episodes 7 and 8. We'll see her recording the song with him.
And what's cool is Selena had already said that she was doing multiple albums all at one time. So I think it's cool that she's really trying to get herself out there. And if this tour does not happen, the fact that she's gonna do an album with Musiq Soulchild, she may do an album with somebody else, something is gonna happen. And like Monifa said, if God wants me to have it, then I'm gonna have it. And so for Selena, it's the same thing.
That's gonna burn Nicki up. I wish I could be like a ball of flames on the camera right now and be like, that's gonna burn Nicki up.
And then some other news is last week we reported that the R&B Divas LA cast had been revealed, and one of the cast members that was revealed was the singer Little Mo. And Little Mo she's more hip hop R&B, and so Little Mo revealed that she was actually asked to be on the original R&B Divas Atlanta before they did the whole chain thing, and Little Mo wanted to know who was going to be a part of the cast, and so she actually turned it down because she didn't feel that her style of singing, the fact that she's kind of more young R&B hip hop, she felt that she wasn't a good blend for the Atlanta girls, the Selena, the Nicki Gilbert, and so I think that was, and I don't think she meant it in a shady way, but I think that was a great choice because I think the girls who are going to be a part of the LA does fit Little Mo, but
a lot better,
but at the same time, Little Mo she's kind of ghetto, and so she's turned up. So I can't wait when we do the LA R&B Divas, because I feel like Little Mo is she's gonna turn up.
I think it's like the vibe and the tempo of R&B Divas LA is gonna basically be like kind of turned up. So I think it's gonna be a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Any other news and gossip?
Nope.
All right. So let's go into predictions.
Predictions.
Hold up.
Oh. We live, you know what I'm saying? It goes down.
Okay, we'll do it. Prediction.
Okay, predictions for episode 7. Meg Scoop.
I will let Larice go.
I think it's gonna be more drama with Nicki. Nicki's really gonna turn it up next episode because of the whole Selena. I think she's gonna find out about the DVD and her not being the DVD, and I think that's really gonna hit the fan between Nicki and Selena.
I think that they're gonna have to do the tour without Nikki. Hopefully, I hope so. I just would like to see them go and find some kind of unity. I think the real issues of whatever's going on with Nikki is gonna probably be addressed. Hopefully, I would like to see what's going on with the real heart of that situation.
I mean, I saw in the promo. Selena's mom is talking about she don't need help. So she said, I guess, weak. If you got an addiction and you seek help, you're weak. So I'm hoping she can help her mama through this, but I don't know.
Selena's mom is funny. I
She
like
is
her.
hilarious.
She is.
She's one of those mamas where she's like she's stuck in a way. She don't care.
Don't care about nobody else
She don't
but
care about
herself.
nobody.
But that drink, she need that drink and them smokes.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then the whole Angie and Nikki fight. Now it's revealed that Nikki comes to the girls to do a performance for free and act as if it's a charity event, which is what Selena goes and tells Monifa. And then Nikki and Angie gets into it about what apparently is the concert that Nikki wants him to do. And Angie says something like, I don't really like the way you're acting or something. And so I think this is going to be interesting because, as we keep saying with Nikki, I think she's going to really basically show her ass on this episode.
This will be interesting.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna really show her ass. So I'm looking forward to these next couple episodes because I think it's gonna be turned up.
Turned up.
Yeah.
The climax.
Yeah. All right. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. So let's let everyone know where you can be found on social media. Meg Scoop.
You can always find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream, and make sure you go to www.cerealbuddies.com. I can't even say it. Cerealbuddies.com and download Adventures of Cereal Buddies because you're helping us here at AfterBuzz TV.
And you can find me at Larice Shamar on Twitter, Instagram, True Peoples. Also check out truepeoplesmedia.com.
And you can find me at All Eyes on Black, spelled correctly, or Facebook, Alfred Thomas, look on my face.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bamm Ericsen, and you can also find me at Bamm. Darn it. You can also find me at Big Six Entertainment. That's BIGGSIXX Entertainment. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in to R&B Divas Season 2, Episode 6. We'll see you guys next Thursday.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.